Arsenal are simply unstoppable. After making it 7 wins in a row, this time a single set piece was enough, as Mikel Arteta's men take full control of the title race. So from Eberechi Eze's moments of magic, to the discussion around Victor Gyökeres, Arsenal's defensive insanity, and the surprising open play numbers. As per, let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 0. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to your boys channel and another sensational victory for Arsenal. We got over the line, we got 3 massive points and we are still top of the Premier League. Starting off with Eze's moments of magic. On the day where Arsenal became just the second club in Premier League history to reach a total of 700 Premier League wins. It was 3 gargantuan points secure, and just as your boy predicted, it was Eberechi Eze scoring against his former club. 1-0 to the Arsenal as our insane record continues. Arsenal are now 10 games unbeaten with 7 wins in a row, with 5 clean sheets in 5 games. And when it comes to London derbies, Arsenal remain imperious. 39 games played now, 27 wins, with a goal difference of 54 and 90 points collected. But in a game that Arsenal had a slow start, not producing a single shot on the Palace goal in the first 30 minutes, the longest the Gunners had gone without a shot in a single game this season. Palace were making it hard, forcing Arsenal and suffocating us out of the pitch. Defensively very secure, credit to Oliver Glasner, but in a game that Arsenal still won on the XG. 1.15 to Palace 0.48. It was cagey, it was not beautiful to watch, but the most important thing was finding a way to get that goal. So of course it was going to be another set piece, as Arsenal scored for the 11th time from a set piece this season, once again more than any single side, but not from the corner or directly from a set piece, but more a fantastic finish from a rebound, as Kung Fu Eze came alive, scoring a fantastic scissor kick worth an XG of only 0.05. The quality of the finish was of the highest. In a game that Eze dropped an 8.2 SofaScore rating, 1 goal scored, 29 accurate passes, with 2 shots and 1 successful dribble, but in a game that he only had 39 touches. The goal itself was a moment of magic, a high quality finish to get Arsenal 3 massive points, but playing in that Martin Odegaard role where you have so much responsibility, Eze only completed a total of 10 passes in the first 35 minutes. In a game that Arsenal had over 70% possession, for me that's a player that I need to see get far more involved, whether it's dropping deeper to connect play and get the ball to the forward line, or in that final third in the pockets demanding the ball. Eberechi Eze is a player that the more he has the ball, the more he has a feel of the ball, the more that he's going to be able to cause chaos and create chances. But what it feels like right now, seeing him playing that Odegaard right hand side, while he's not scared to drift towards the left, whenever he receives the ball he can still cause problems. But a player that if he wants to get the highest amount of goals and assists, needs to have more desire to get himself on that ball, because every time he gets it and he's able to turn, you see a player that opens up so many options. Alongside Bukayo Saka though on that right hand side, while on paper 2 profiles that should work very nicely, I still think Eze will operate far better towards the left hand side, a player that we saw there thrive for Crystal Palace year in year out. Even the goal itself comes from Eze being towards the left hand side of the box, able to shoot across the goal itself. But in a game that he got his first ever Arsenal Premier League goal, is this going to be a game of breakthrough? Saying before the game that he believes that Arsenal will win the Premier League, laughing off suggestions from his primary school audience that Liverpool will contend, as he answered an unwavering yes. Moving on to the second thing, and that is set piece inevitability. In a game that Arsenal definitely had dominance, as shown by the stats, 60% possession but only 1 big chance created all game, a total of 10 shots and 4 corners, but a game that required our emergency solution, set piece again ole ole. Having now scored from 11 set piece goals this season, that is a total goal tally more than 8 other sides have managed from set pieces and open play combined. But seeing this graphic here that Arsenal have only scored 5 goals from open play, they're 17th lowest in the Premier League, with an insane percentage of 56% of the goals coming from set pieces. There will be a lot of talk, especially from rivals. Are Arsenal reliable? How do Arsenal keep getting away with it? But it gets to a point where you also have to realise, if you keep doing it year in, year out, game in, game out, it's not that Arsenal are being given these set piece goals. From a combination of insane deliveries, as well as knowing where to attack the ball, Arsenal are just making the most of the profiles and dominance they have. With Mikel Arteta saying after the game, nobody really generates big chances against Crystal Palace. With the way that they are set up, we find a way again to score a goal and another clean sheet, which is very important as well. And this is the point that Arsenal fans need to realise. In a year that we have now beaten Crystal Palace, West Ham, Fulham and Newcastle, games that Arsenal weren't able to win last season, the mid-block that we were up against today was very hard to play against. Watching those 30 minutes, what your boy noticed straight away, how well organised Crystal Palace are and how well they press. To come up against a team that is so well drilled defensively, yes, I want to see more from Arsenal in open play, breaking through the lines and causing problems there. But when you also have a consistent route over that, the idea of relying upon set pieces is another way to break through a goal and make the game more open. It's exactly why Arsenal are picking up points that they weren't last season. As Mikel Arteta said before the game, I don't see the game in open play and set pieces, because whether you like it or not, a goal is a goal. If you're going to get corners and you're going to get free kicks, as Arsenal is showing by being top of the Premier League, you maximize those fine margins, and you're gonna have a lot of success. But it also comes down to the anticipation. The idea that every single time Arsenal get a throw-in, a corner or free kick, rival fans watching the game saying, oh no, it shows that Arsenal have become inevitable. Teams now realise that every time Arsenal have these opportunities, they have the quality to find the delivery and have the quality to break through. With even Leandro Trossard saying after the game, whenever we get a set piece, we know that we can score. And that is exactly why Arsenal have now picked up an extra 10 points compared to last year's corresponding fixtures. And one of the biggest reasons why, it's not the fact that Arsenal have evolved and have a new style of play, it's more the fact that Arsenal have doubled down with extra quality in that midfield. In a game that Martin Zubimendi was once again excellent, dropping a 6.9 SofaScore score rating, 1 key pass, 63 accurate passes, 3 of 5 accurate long balls, as well as 1 tackle, 3 interceptions and 3 clearances. As great as Zubimendi is on the ball, constantly finding ways to influence the game, I also believe his defensive ability is very underrated. The way that he's able to time his tackles and win that ball back. In many ways, he is becoming the Arsenal manager on the pitch. The player able to express Mikel Arteta's ideas. Arriving at Arsenal with a lot of pressure, but now you can see exactly why Liverpool and Real Madrid were so desperate to get this man, because you see a player with such high tactical intelligence, as well as offering elite defensive security. To put it very simple, Zubimendi gives Arsenal balance. Moving on to the third thing, and that is defensive insanity. Insanity is the word, because what Arsenal are doing now just doesn't make any sense. Having now kept 10 clean sheets in 13 games in all competitions this season, the joint fastest an English top flight side has ever reached double figures for clean sheets in a single season. That is games that Arsenal have missed Gabriel and Saliba by the way, yet they have now set a new Arsenal Premier League record, having only conceded 3 goals in the league this season, their best ever record after 9 league games. Mikel Arteta has created a defensive machine, as Arsenal have now gone 5 games in a row across all competitions without conceding a single goal. It's not just the fact that Arsenal aren't conceding, it's the fact that Arsenal aren't conceding shots on goal. In a game that Arsenal faced only 1 shot on target, that means David Raya has only had to make 1 save in a total of his last 3 league games. With this stat here showing that Arsenal conceded a 0.00 expected goals on target over a 300-minute spell before Eddie Nketiah's 70th minute shot on goal. That is because even when teams get towards the Arsenal goal, Arsenal always have players in the way to block the shots, making David Raya's job very much easier. Over 13 games this season, only 3 goals conceded, while Liverpool have conceded 21. That's a team that was meant to give Arsenal the biggest chase this season, spending £500 million on bolstering their attack, but defensively looking all over the place. For Arsenal, it's quite simple as score if you can. 13 games played, 10 clean sheets, 3 goals conceded, and only 1 coming from open play. A major part behind that is the fact that it is a collective effort. The entire team works so hard to get behind the ball, make it so impossible. We've heard the quotes from Sander Berg last week against Fulham, confirming that whenever he plays against Arsenal, it feels like someone is controlling them with a controller. Every single piece is in place, every single part works collectively, and a major part behind that is our defensive lead at the back, and that is Gabriel Magalhaes. With the hand of Arsenal confirming, Gabriel Magalhaes trained yesterday and did everything he could to be available today, medically cleared to play, generally fighting for the Arsenal badge. It was a late call, but amongst those starts, the hunger is different this season. A man that, according to John Cross, alongside Odegaard, Saka, Declan Rice and Mikel Merino, is a part of Arsenal's leadership group, has 5 very big personalities in the dressing room. You can see by the way he plays and his influence, there's a reason why Mikel Arteta sees him as his leader. In a game that he dropped a 7.7 SofaScore rating, with 1 interception, 6 clearances and 2 block shots, 4 of 8 aerial duels won, as well as 90% of passes completed. It was also a game where Jean-Philippe Mateta unable to fire a single shot on target all game. Gabriel Magalhaes was harassing him, constantly getting his way and causing so much problem. But even going forward from another set piece, the presence of Gabriel to cause chaos for the initial delivery gave Eze the space in the box to go and fire that shot off. After a goal against Newcastle, an assist against Fulham, goal and assist against Atletico, he practically got another assist against Crystal Palace. In a game where he started once again alongside William Saliba, a player dropping a 7.2 SofaScore rating, but taken off for half-time, but still able to bring Christian Mosquera and Piero Nketiah. Arsenal have the best defence in Europe, and it's not even a debate at this point, having now gone over 100 consecutive games in all competitions without conceding 3 goals in a game, becoming just the 2nd English league team to ever achieve this feat, alongside Man United between October 2016 and August 2018. 7 more games, and that's another record that Arsenal will. Moving on to the 4th thing, and that is Gyökeres needs some help. The Arsenal number 9 that works so hard and presses relentlessly, having now gone 5 consecutive league games without scoring a single goal. According to SofaScore, he dropped a 5.7 rating, with only 1 shot all game, 27 touches, 12 accurate passes, and 0 ground balls won. But in watching the game itself, what you'll notice that Gyökeres did actually have a lot of good hold-up play, allowing Arsenal to keep the ball higher up the pitch, providing David Raya outlets, chasing lost causes and still finding a way to make something happen. In many ways, everything that people look at Gyökeres and say that he's poor at, in this game it was pretty decent, but brought to Arsenal with an insane goal scoring record, that Mikel Arteta is trying to translate. When we look at XG so far this season, well, number one, of course, is Erling Haaland. The fact that Gyökeres is 7th, behind Semenyo, Enzo Fernandez, Bruno Fernandes, Igor Thiago, and Jean-Philippe Mateta, despite playing every single league game for Arsenal this season. Is that an indication that Arsenal aren't creating enough chances? Or the fact that every time Arsenal give Gyökeres a chance, despite being so powerful on the ball, he doesn't seem to have the pace to break through. Even in this game, there was multiple occasions where Arsenal played a through ball, but against Lacroix, Gyökeres was consistently unable to make any sort of separation. A player that at times people talk about being too heavy. I want to see Gyökeres find a way to break through consistently in the Premier League. But you also have to look at his minutes. Having now started 8 games in his last 28 days, after another full 90 minutes played today, that is 630 minutes played since September the 28th. This is a guy that is putting in so much work and playing so consistently, but also a player that's huffing and puffing. That's why you're looking at the return of Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, 2 centre forwards that can play there and help Gyökeres, while also giving Arsenal a different option. Because at this current rate, with the amount of games that Arsenal have coming up, it's getting to a point where Mikel Arteta needs to be careful of not running Victor Gyökeres into the ground. Moving on to the 5th thing, and that is title race control. In a game that, let's be honest, Arsenal weren't amazing, but getting over the line and securing 3 gargantuan points. As Mikel Arteta says, I just told the boys that I value this victory more than any other victory this season. And that is because of the effect it has on the title race. On a weekend where Liverpool lost for the 4th league game in a row, losing 3-2 to Brentford, that is now 11 defeats in the last 25 league games. As Arne Slott's Liverpool, who spent so much money in the summer, many saw as a title race favourite, are faltering on a consistent basis. And as an Arsenal fan that had to hear so much from Liverpool fans last season, it is just a little bit satisfying, having won 15 points in their first 5 games, when their XG suggested that they should have won only 8. Since then, they've won 0 points from 4, with the XG suggesting they should have won 6. Expected goals is a metric sometimes you simply cannot outrun. But where things for Arsenal get even better, the following day a defeat for Man City as well. 1-0 to Aston Villa at Villa Park, as Erling Haaland's insane goal-scoring record finally came to an end. After scoring in 12 consecutive games, Unai Emery's Aston Villa found a way to make the robot malfunction. And it starts to make you wonder that in terms of Man City being against Arsenal in this title race, if you do find a way to stop Erling Haaland, do you stop Man City? Because in terms of City's top goal scorers this season, while Haaland's got 11, the next highest goal scorers is actually on goal, followed by Reinders, Foden and Nunes, who all only have 1 goal. If people talk about Arsenal being over-reliant on set pieces, are Man City over-reliant on Erling Haaland? Because in terms of Arsenal, the title race is in their control. 22 points after 9 games played with a 13 goal difference, 4 points clear top of a Bournemouth, 5 clear of Granit Xhaka Sunderland, but more importantly 6 of Man City, and 7 of Liverpool. And that is after a very tough start to the season, having already faced Liverpool, City, United, Palace and Newcastle. To then still be 4 points clear is testament to Mikel Arteta and how he's adapted the squad in games without Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka, with the arrival of Gyökeres and Zubimendi. This Arsenal first team is passing test that they have so often failed in previous seasons. And the mind games have begun, as Pep Guardiola said before the game. I don't have the feeling right now that Arsenal are going to drop many points this season. And in many ways he is kind of right. The fact that even last year, despite how poor Arsenal were, the main issue was the draw. But now games against Fulham and Crystal Palace, games that Arsenal drew last season, but found a way to collect 3 points this year. The crazy fact before the game was, for the first time since September 2024, Mikel Arteta was able to start the same 11 in consecutive games in the Premier League. Yet still after the game, you had Calafiori, Saliba and Declan Rice, all confirmed to be struggling with issues that forced him to come off. This performance wasn't amazing, one of our most poor this season, yet still we were able to create a chance to win the game and keep a clean sheet. But I do sense a level of fatigue now. These Arsenal players have played a lot of games already this season, and that's why I'm looking towards Mikel Arteta. In a game that he gave Piero Nkapie his Premier League debut, coming on for Ricardo Calafiori and dropping a 6.8 SoFA score rating, with 1 ground to 1 and 4 accurate passes. With the return of Martin Odegaard, Noni Madueke and Kai Havertz, the squad depth now is going to be very important. We are not a team just fighting for a Premier League title, but also a team trying to get far in the Champions League. But then seeing this graphic here that Arsenal are still number 1, ahead of only Bournemouth and Sunderland, just imagine thinking about that after the defeat against Liverpool, in a game that many people thought that was Liverpool's moment to make a statement. Yet since then it's been Arsenal that have been consistently good, Liverpool consistently average. With games against Burnley, Sunderland and Tottenham to come, Arsenal have now gone 385 minutes without conceding a single goal,